Hi everyone, this is Balázs from Racing Brick. This is the 2024 LEGO Speed Champions Polybag set. It has 58 pieces and it costs €4 or $5. What if I told you that you can get a 1000 plus piece building block set for less than the price of this polybag? Yeah, you're right, I would think it was a scam too. Unless you've been living under a rock, you've probably heard of Temu, or Temu, whatever, you know what I'm talking about. We've had AliExpress, Wish, and now Temu, the ultimate Chinese shopping app with prices that at first glance seem too good to be true. After Christmas, the ads kept popping up in my Facebook feed, and I think a lot of other people felt the same way, because I got tons of questions about whether these LEGO sets are good, whether they are worth buying, and so on. Usually when I see a 1000-piece set for a few dollars, I'm convinced it's a scam, you are not getting anything, it's just a way to steal your money. But as I've heard from many sources, Temu works, they actually deliver products. So in the end I couldn't resist and ordered this car here. You see the price in Hungarian forints, that's how much I paid for it, that's less than $4 and about 3.5 euros. That was really the price I paid for the product, although there are a few things worth mentioning. The huge discount was only shown when I registered, you can see the new user label there, and was only valid for one item. Today that would be about $25, so these incredible discounts can be used on every item. The package arrived in a plastic bag like this. I even had to add a few more items to reach the minimum shipping limit, which was around $12. Here's the set itself in another plastic bag. We have a bunch of unnumbered bags in the package, some of which are date stamped, interesting. Here's the manual, it opens the other way around. The pages are quite crowded, many steps are squeezed in. Here's the sticker sheet, interesting yellow background, okay, it looks like we have a transparent base for the stickers. So, let's start building. But first, let's take a quick look at the parts. Panels are very similar to LEGO, the beams have a slightly different pattern, but most of the small parts look identical. The quality of the parts immediately feels different, the pins have a great variety, this one has much less friction than the other one next to it. Other parts are very tight, it's literally impossible to push them in. There are some missing instructions, in step 10 we had the parts with the red axles, but in step 11 the red axles are already pressed in. The design of the car itself is surprisingly decent by the way, nice steering, I'm not sure if it was a custom built by someone, I couldn't find a source. The following problem is the most serious so far. You see those three connectors, they all look the same, don't they? Well, I'm not sure how visible the numbers are, I better take a picture, but the numbers on them are all different. I tried to group all the connectors here by number, I have 3 different 2s, 3 different 3s, 2 4s and so on, I have 7 different numbers, but more than a dozen variations, and to make it worse, according to the manual I would need a number 5, which I don't have at all. All I could do was to try to match the angles, and apparently I only have 3 main categories. Let's see which one looks the most similar in the manual, I guess that will be 5 then. Another trick, panel fairings don't have numbers, but at least you can figure out which one to take based on the shape and number of pinholes. So, here's our car so far, and this is the V12 engine, again the design is pretty decent. Too bad the black gear is literally falling off the axle, it's very loose. And here is the finished build. The look is pretty subjective, I can't say I'm a big fan of it, there are better and worse parts. It seems to be heavily inspired by the Lamborghini V12 Vision GT concept, but yes, there are some interesting details. I didn't put the stickers on because I was unsure about the transparent background and above all, because there are no instructions telling you where to put what. This model comes in many variations with a dozen different names and manufacturers. Funnily enough, the Vision GT has these very recognizable headlights. Some of these models look similar, but this one has the lowest light bar in a completely different position already. I'm not sure what the original design was, because it seems to have been copied and changed several times, but the structure of the basic design is surprisingly sophisticated. Whoever designed this car clearly knew what he or she was doing. I haven't found any LEGO custom builds that look like this. If you know more about the origins, please let me know in the comments. Unfortunately, the structural design is the only positive thing I can say about the set. The quality of the parts is very poor. Apart from the problems I showed you during the build, the wheels come off easily, the front falls apart, these panels just rattle around, similar things happen at the rear, it's just disappointing. But it only costs $4. Yes, that's true, but should we buy bad products just because they are cheap? Should we spoil a child's play experience? I don't think so. Kids should be able to have fun with a building block set and should be able to play with the end result, and this thing just doesn't provide that experience. This set was dirt cheap and maybe very tempting to some, but I would still recommend buying a good used LEGO set instead. It certainly won't be as cheap as this one, but at least you can look at the reviews to learn more about the building experience, you get decent instructions, and the quality of the pieces is better. There are sites like Bricklink where you can search for good used sets in your area. If I had to pick one from the last few years that is similar to this one, I would probably go for the Bugatti Bolide, which you can get for around 20-25 euros or dollars, and there are many alternative models on Rebricable. It's a solid choice. As for Temu and building block sets, if you want to go off-brand, I would rather recommend you choose something reputable from a trusted source, a company that respects LEGO's trademarks. Check out Kada's set, for example, in their official store. Please let me know your thoughts, folks. If you have any experience with Temu, let's talk about it in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, then please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe with notifications, as there will be more exciting real LEGO videos coming soon. See you next time, bye bye.